Welcome to the session on land rights of farmers and agri-tenants. So this session, my aim is to acquaint all of you around how tenancy or sharecropping, which is a reality of Indian farming and Indian farmers, how it is impacting agriculture, how it is impacting rural economy, how it is impacting the farmer themselves, and why it is so. I'll try to make you understand that. And also, I'll try to see that what are the policy issues leading to such a situation, such a practice on ground, and how can it be addressed through different policy reform. Basically, how can we make agriculture policy reform leading to more inclusive transformation of agriculture and better balanced growth. So when you talk about farmers, we all see male person with a pagdi, with a plow, with a tractor, and we assume that he also owns some land on which he tills. Even our policy framework also look at that when we transfer money directly to the farmer through PM Kisan or through Kisan credit card, through agriculture loan, we also assume, our policy also assume that this is the farmer. But if you go to ground, I think this is not the only farmer, and we all know there is a substantial feminization of farming. A lot of women farmers are there. Now Government of India has also accepted women farmers and observing Women Farmers Day. But there are also a substantial number of farmers who does farming but don't own any land. We call them tenant farmers, sharecropper or tenants, agriculture tenants in short. There are also other people who engage in farming, we call them agriculture laborers. So there is a hierarchy in farming where the land owning farmer who cultivate the land sits on the top. In between is a tenant farmer who doesn't own the land or owns some land and lease in some other land. Maybe he or she is owning 1 acre of land, leasing another 2-3 acres of land, and together cultivating the land for production. And then the agriculture laborer who only does support the farming in terms of their labor. Women could be any of them, but many times women are not noticed around that. So if you look at the tenant farmer and land owning farmer, sometimes we have put them together, like we call cultivators, tenant farmers and land owning farmer and agriculture laborers. And we have been seeing in subsequent census operations that we conduct every 10 years, we have not done since 2011, but from 51 to 2011, there is a decrease in number of cultivators and increase in number of laborers. What is happening? So that means less and less people are owning the land, or those who are cultivating the land, they are coming down and agricultural labor is increasing. So this is a scenario which was also a reality when India got independent, and during that time it was thought that we will address this through social justice, through the process of land reform, what we call land redistributive reform, which started in 1950s and 60s, post India got independent, drawing lessons from Eastern Asia and other part of the world like Taiwan, Japan, Korea, to see that how can we have a more progressive agricultural growth and more equitable agricultural growth, where the farmer would be tilling the land, and they will be owning the land. So the whole slogan was that land to the tillers. Who are the cultivators? Give them the land. So this was to abolish tenancy, abolish jamidari, redistribute land, bring in land reform. But despite substantive efforts of those socialist government during that time, and also a lot of review by the Government of India when Nehru was Prime Minister and also Lal Shastri was Prime Minister, this whole reform agenda remained unfinished. And what happened? Tenancy continued. So that means people were cultivating the land who were not the tiller, but they were not given the land, and they continue to do so. So if you look at the Indian states, the scenarios were, however, different. Some states they completely banned tenancy without any exception. For example, Kerala, Jammu and Kashmir, and Manipur they completely banned tenancy. But we also see, some form of tenancy continue there as concealed tenancy. There are some states who had progressive tenancy laws. They didn't ban land leasing. For example, Rajasthan, West Bengal, but they try to address land leasing. And there are in between states where states like Bihar and Odisha, where they ban the leasing with some exception, that some people like in Odisha, Lord Jagannath, or the soldiers, those who are retired defense people, they can continue to, widows, they can continue to own land but don't cultivate. So what has happened? Different states in India brought in different kind of reforms which try to address tenancy in different ways. But basically to see that who are the tillers, who are the cultivators, they should have more control on land, so that land will be more equitable distributed, people will get more benefits, and agriculture will be more productive. But as I was telling, this whole reform remained unfinished. Many people didn't follow that. Many upper caste elites, rich farmers, they didn't want to give their land to the tillers. They could overcome these processes through different political and other processes. And what happened? Tenancy continued as concealed. So there are many absentee landlords and many tenant farmer who continued so. So there are data sets which it was different across India, but as per NSSO, National Sample Survey data sets, which you can refer, which was last in 12-13, around 13% of the farmers were regarded as the tenants. But we did our own survey in 4 states of India, and our data indicates almost 1/3 of farmers in India are tenants. So what does it indicate? Indicate that when we invest in land, invest in agriculture, most of the money that is invested in agriculture is not going to the farmland, because there are many farmers who are tenants. They will not get the direct benefit transfers. Government is transferring through PM Kisan or through Kisan Credit Card or through Agricultural Fasal Bima Yojana. Even the benefits of minimum support price doesn't go to go to them. So there is a layer between the land, the money that is given to agriculture, and the money that reaches the agriculture land. So, and this is the impervious layer is the absentee farmers, absentee landlords who are not cultivating the land but keeping the money, and the tenants who are cultivating land below, they are not getting the money. That means the agriculture is not becoming that progressive, soil is not becoming that healthy, because that investment is not going. Also, what is happening, because of tenancy, many landlords are afraid that if I continue to give land to the tenants, my land may be taken over by the tenants. So this is the legacy of the land laws, which is rather not properly interpreted. So as per the adverse possession, which we talk about, this 12 years of adverse possession, that if there is a farmer which is cultivating land for continuously 12 years without the consent of the landlord, the land will be in their name as per the Indian Limitation Act. But many times that is interpreted there, and as a result of which we find that many landlords, they are not willing to give the land to the farmer, and there are some data sets which indicates that fallowing is growing. Fallowing means the land which is cultivated land, agriculture land, which remain fallow for 1 year, we call them current fallow, and some land remain fallow for 5 years, other fallows. So together these two kind of fallows, as per different data sets, in India is around 25 million hectares, which is about 20% of agriculture land. So this is remaining fallow, while all the fallowing cannot be attributed to only to tenancy, but there are studies by different authors, published studies, particularly one by Ranganathan and Pandey, based on the India Human Development Survey data in 10-11, which talks about that the villages where there is tenancy going on, less land is fallowed. The village where there is no tenancy, more land is fallowed. So tenancy in a way, though it is informal, though it is concealed, though it is legally not allowed, but allow the land market to operate and farmer to cultivate the land and make it productive. So that means if tenants are there, more land are under agriculture, and more food is produced. If the tenants are less land in agriculture. But at the same time, the tenants are not getting benefit of the agriculture services, as I told, the whole direct benefit transfer, because all the direct benefit transfers in the agriculture schemes are linked to land records. So the persons whose name is the land record is known as will be identified as farmer, and in their name the money will be transferred. So the tenants who are not the landowners, their name is not there. Even the people who are whose grandfather's name in many cases also land record is not updated, they will not get the money. But there are ways, they give affidavits and they manage to get the fund. But the tenant farmers who cannot put their name in the land record because their tenancy is informal, while record of rights and satbaras, the different land documents, they have a column where tenancy could be recorded. For example, if you look at South India, many of the states in South India like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, the record of right is called RTC, record of tenancy and cropping. So where tenant name could be recorded in the land record. So there is a provision of recording tenant name, but because tenancy was abolished, tenancy was banned in many of the states. So, and also because many landowners felt that if the tenant's name will be recorded, they will be given the land in the future. So they stopped recording that. So as a result of which, there is no tenant's name recording in the land record, and the tenants cease to get any benefit that is going for agriculture. We can place safely that 1/3 of the investment in agriculture is not going to the farmlands. So farmlands are getting deprived of these benefits, as a result of which we can see, the farmland productivity may go down, the farmland soil health may go down, and this will lead to a decline in agriculture production, decline in soil health. So this will be more critical when we are talking about carbon sequestration, when we are talking about healthy soils. So if tenancy continued to be in practice without being recorded or without tenants being provided the agriculture benefits, so agriculture will continue to suffer. So there are studies which indicate that the schemes like PM Kisan, Rayat Bandhu, Rayatu Bharosa in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Kalia scheme in Odisha, which were again trying to help farmers, could not benefit the tenants. So what has happened? So far we are seeing that there has been, despite the ban in tenancy, there has been increased. The lease area under tenancy is increasing, number of farmer doing tenancy is increasing, and the high tenancy holdings are also increasing. And in some cases we are finding also in irrigated commands something called reverse tenancy. So tenancy is not only the poor farmer take away land of rich farmer and cultivate, but also rich farmers, they come in, take away land of poor farmers and put it under commercial agriculture, put under irrigated agriculture. So that is also increasing in irrigated command areas. So what has it led to, as you see, though there is some studies indicate that little difference between yield per hectare between the tenant land and the farmer owned land, but we see also there is reduced investment in agriculture in the lands where tenants operate. Not only public investment, also private investment, because tenants are usually rotated. So they will have less incentive to invest in the agriculture land because they don't know whether next year they will be there or not. So in many cases, tenants' incentive to take care of the soil, take care of the land will be less because the risks are not equitably shared between the landowners, and risk and both benefits. So tenants take more risk and landowners take more benefits. And there is also one of the unfortunate thing, if you look at the number of farmer suicides, most of the farmers who committed suicide in Andhra and Telangana particularly are tenants. So tenancy is really impacting agriculture substantively. Even if you look at farmer producer organizations, which are now a new form of organized collectives to promote farming and improve farmers' income, tenants cannot register FPOs, because to register as FPOs, the directors of FPOs need to have land in their own name. So tenants, if they don't have land in their own name, they will not be able to register FPO. So transition to organic farming, transitions to natural farming, transitions to natural this agroecological farming, transition to regenerative farming will also be difficult unless we address tenancy. So to address tenancy, Government of India, when they realized that tenancy is not only is not no more a social evil, it is economic necessity. So Government of India in 2016 brought in a Model Agriculture Land Leasing Act. So Dr. Tajamul Haq, who was at that time with Niti Aayog, he drafted this. He chaired a committee which drafted this act, and this act talked about how to address these issues of tenancy, how to record tenancy in some form, and how to make tenancy not negatively affect the landowner, like how the tenancy as a practice can take care of both landowner as well as tenant, so that landowner will be benefited. Landowner will not have the risk of the land is going to tenants, and tenant will have all the benefits even without owning the land. So that means by virtue of an agreement between the tenant and landowner, which may be recorded in some form, like some states which amended their act, like Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, they allow the tenancy to be recorded now in record of rights. But other states like Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, they have limited recording. But despite that, the benefits from agriculture, of agriculture financing can be accessed by the tenant. So it will be a win-win scenario for both tenants and landlord, whereby by virtue of some kind of agreement, just like the way we did agreement for rental housing in urban areas. So tenant farmers and landlords can have some arrangements where the risks will be shared by the landlord and the benefits can be also passed on to the tenants, making it a win-win scenario. But unfortunately, despite this act in place, this model act in place and pushed by the Government of India, only so far few states have enacted it, like Andhra Pradesh had enacted earlier, Andhra and Telangana, both of them. Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh have enacted now. Punjab, Orissa, Karnataka, they were trying to do it, but they have not done so far. So this is something which can really provide scope to improve this land relations of tenants with respect to better access to land and better access to entitlement can and improve farming. But before we end this session, I would also like to add that despite this act is not in place in many states. For example, Kerala, there are also some kind of and Odisha, there are also some kind of state initiatives as well as civil society initiative where there has been some kind of arrangements where tenant farmers or landless farmers are enhanced access to land. Kudumbasri, for example, in Kerala has provided enhanced access to so-called SSG groups, women collectives, to the paddy land of absentee landlords, and thereby improving, increasing land under food production and improving access to land by the women farmers. And there are some case studies documented around that. Similarly, in Orissa also to some extent to tenant farmers and sharecroppers through schemes like Balaram, through schemes like minimum support price. So MSP can be also accessed by the tenant farmer. So there are different ways where civil societies, government initiatives are trying to address that. But I think it is important to see how we're going to address tenancy in policy and practice in most states of India, because tenancy is an embedded reality. It continues despite legal reform, and we have seen that not only in India, globally it is a practice, because all farmers cannot own land, but we need farmers to cultivate and access land. So how we can address that through different kind of policy reform, that is going to be the future challenge. And I hope with this session and with this information you will be able to also do more research and try to understand the situation better and see that how there can be more inclusive agriculture transformation to a better land relationship tenants and farmers. Thank you.